Hello, Internet. Hello, YouTube. I'm only going to make one post, one upload about this subject. Try to be as concise as I can, straight to the point, and make as much sense as possible. I don't think that it's fair at all to try to compare the Austin Metcalf stabbing to Kyle Rittenhouse. It's not fair at all. Number one, that was politicized terribly, the same way this is being politicized terribly. There are terrible people who are trying to use this to fit their own narratives so they can push their own agendas that have nothing to do with either the Karmelo Anthony side or the Austin Metcalf side of the incident. And shame on you people for using this to try to push your own agendas. Kyle Rittenhouse actually fled and tried to avoid conflict with the crowd that was going after him. Oh, and let's just say that a couple of those people who were removed from the census weren't necessarily great people and were nothing to mourn for the loss of. They were doing terrible things before ever even seeing Kyle Rittenhouse. And Kyle also didn't provoke and tell them, see what happens. Provocation before self-defense can be argued as enticement. When escalating to a deadlier force, if he wants to claim he was in fear for his life, witness testimony in the police reports that anybody who's as lazy as me can look at don't bear that out. Kyle Rittenhouse didn't entice them. And he was chased by people who were lesser armed that were hell-bent to bring knives to gunfights. This is quite different. This is a guy who avoided a fist fight by going for a knife. So, the comparison isn't even close. Did he ever think of running? Did he yell for help? Did he look to anybody else around the tent and say, yo, these guys are being bullies. Hey, these guys are making me feel unsafe. I don't want to victim blame. And I don't know everything that's going to come out when it goes to trial. I'm not some expert. But I have used some logic to this. And knowing the way self-defense works, the way that it's supposed to work, you have to have a credible reason to believe your life is in danger. And you have to be actively trying to de-escalate. Now, de-escalating is not provocation. See what happens is a challenge. If I'm going to see what happens, I'm basically saying I dare you to. That's the kind of thing that's probably going to be a very, very contentious argument when this goes to trial. But if anybody thinks because they have their own moral standards that the trial is going to go the way that they see it going, you're not thinking about the fact that there's going to be multiple people listening to testimonies, and they're all going to get trapped in a room together, and they're not going to be allowed to leave that room until they all agree one direction or the other, or it becomes a mistrial. So I don't care how smart any of us are. We don't know how this is going to go when it goes down to trial. what everybody's going to be looking at? I know one thing. Those words are going to be heavily scrutinized. You can get all passionate and everything. My opinion, your opinion, it don't matter until that final day in court and the verdict comes out. That's the opinion that matters. But stop. Stop comparing this to Rittenhouse. He tried to avoid conflict. You can argue that he was a place that he didn't need to be, that he chose to go out there. So that can be looking for the conflict if you compare it to being in the same tent. Oh, not the comparison you guys are trying to make, right? My bad. So can we please stop citing things that just don't relate? This is the only thing that I'm going to have to say about the situation, because I really feel like anything I say about it doesn't matter, because when it goes to court, that's what's going to decide what happens with Karmelo Anthony. And maybe this is an unpopular opinion. Regardless if he's found guilty or not, that young man, his life will never be the same. And he's a young man. I feel bad. I feel bad that things go like this. Even if it was hate motivated, people can try to recover and they can try to grow. But he's not going to get that chance to do it in an earnest way and still have the luxuries that he would have had. Maybe we'll find out that he was a terrible person. Maybe we'll find out he was a decent person who had a bad day. Maybe we'll find out that he listened to a bunch of propaganda and he was angry. Maybe we'll find out all kinds of things that, we don't see coming. Everyone getting all passionate and hating on each other, and the grifters on the left and the right. Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourselves. This isn't about your narrative. 2 families are fucking destroyed over this. Shame on you. Wolfman out.